Okay, welcome to this section. In the first section, we created an AWS account. Now, my aim is to create an EC2 instance. However, before I create an EC2 instance, I need to create something called a Keypair, and I also would like to create something called the security group. The Keypair, as you can see, is called Keypair, which means there are two of them. Basically, AWS allows you to create a private key and a public key. The public key is stored on AWS. Anytime you create an EC2 instance, the public key gets inserted into the instance. However, the private key will get downloaded to your laptop. This is usually done automatically, so you don't have to worry about it. You just have to take note that the private key gets downloaded to your laptop. And once the key gets downloaded, you can store it in a safe and secure environment. Alright, so let's go ahead and create this key. Again, it's called a Keypair, and there are two parts to it. So let's head back to our management console. So here's my management console. I'm going to click on EC2 Instance. And on the left, I have my navigation pane, and whatever I click here gives me more details on my right. So the first thing I'm going to do here is come to Network and Security and click on Keypairs. Okay, so here I already have a lot of Keypairs, but I'll walk you through the step-by-step process of creating a Keypair. So I click on Create Keypair. I'm just going to call it Secure Website. And now we have Keypair type. If you want some information, you can click on that, but I'm just going to leave it at RSA. Any of them should be fine, but since this one is the default, I'm basically just going to leave it as the default. Then the private key file format. This is the key that is going to get downloaded to your laptop. Now there are two types of keys here. There's a .pem and there's a .ppk. Underneath here it says for use with OpenSSH. Here for the PPK it says for use with PuTTY. So it depends on which laptop you have. If you have a Windows laptop, you can just download PPK. If you have a MacBook or Linux, you can just download .pem. At the same time, even if you have a Windows, you can still download .pem and use something called PuTTygen to convert the key from .pem to .ppk. I usually prefer that method because once I download .pem to Windows and I convert it to ppk, now I have both extensions, .pem and .ppk. If I'm connecting to a Linux instance with PuTTY, I can use this one. But later on, if I needed to use RDP to connect to a Windows instance, I need a PEM. So even if you're using Windows, I advise you download .pem, then convert it to .ppk, and then you have two. If you're connecting to using PuTTY, use ppk. If you're connecting using RDP, you use .pem. Okay, so I'm done. I'm just going to say create Keypair. Notice here that the key has downloaded to my laptop. At the same time, I have it here on AWS website. So I have the key here, Secure Website. It tells me the time it was created and some other information about the key. So at this point, I'm done. Again, just make sure that this key here is kept in a secure location, because this is pretty much like your password. If anybody get hold of this key, they can log on to your EC2 instance from anywhere. So keep that secure, especially in production environment. You want to make sure that this key is kept in a very secure location. All right, so that's this step here. On my laptop, I still have to change the permission for this key if I'm using Linux or MacBook. But again, if you're on Windows, you just have to convert it to .ppk, and that's all. All right, so that's our Keypair created. Another thing we could do is to create our security group, but we'll do that in another video. We need to have the Keypair created, and we need to have the security group configured before we go ahead and create our EC2. All right, so I hope to see you in the next video where we're going to configure our security group.